Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is your Jomba. If you have not subscribed, please click the subscribe button, and for those who are my regular viewers, welcome back. The church. Very many of us, including myself, are learning recently ya kwamba kanisa is a very important institution in the governance of nations. It is extremely difficult to govern a godless people. Ni ngumu sana kutawala wananchi ambao hawana Mungu ama miungu ya kuabudu. So, the church is a very important institution in the governance of a republic, in the governance of a country, of a nation state, whatever it is unataka kuita taifa la watu. It is not a Kenyan thing, it is not an American thing, it is not a British or European or Chinese thing. This is a very global fact, and it cuts across all types of societies. Kanisa has its roots, I think, in ancient religion. Sawa. Mimi mtanisamehe, my father is an elder of the Anglican Church. He, together with my mother, they are saved people. So I have to be careful with what I say, kwa sababu ni watu ambao wananitazama kila siku about the church, what I say about the church. But then I do not want to go off too far into the legitimacy of the church. Sawa, what I want us to do is to build a case for what you have just seen there. Gladys Wanga akipeana 10 million shillings in a church on Sunday, 5th July. 10 million shillings in cash from a backpack. Sawa. So by understanding the church actually laid down the structures of government. And the church helps governments in managing the masses. Because, for example, look at the 10 commandments. At a very early age, by the time unafika 10, 11, 12 years, you are being given the 10 commandments. You are being indoctrinated, sawa, into the system of law. Si kama mnaelewa. Yeah, because that whole baptism, confirmation, and all the way to, kuwa mzee wa kama kwa Anglican, kuwa mzee wa Catholic wanaitwaje, those men associations, those mothers unions, those YCAs, young Catholic associations, etc. All of it is to produce a human being, sawa, who is easy to govern, that has complied with the rule of law, because those laws started from Bible. It is the same thing with Islam. Now Islam, so in fact, all madrasa yao wanaanza wakiwa watoto zaidi. So by the time you are now released into society, you are compliant with the system. Sadly, the church in Kenya has become abused by President Ruto and the political class. He has invaded the church, he invaded the church kuanzia 2013. After walishinda na Uhuru Kenyatta mara ya kwanza, President Ruto now, then deputy president, invested billions of looted taxpayer funds in the church. Every Sunday kuanzia 2013 all the way to his election in 2022, President Ruto hakuna kanisa hajaingia in Mount Kenya. Wacha niwaambie ukweli, hakuna kanisa hajaingia Mount Kenya, na hakuna watu ogopa kanisa kama watu wa Mount Kenya. If you find a Catholic, they are a proper Catholic. If you find an SCK church member wa Murima, they are a proper SCK church member. Ukipatana na wa PCA, wale mutaratara, you know, those women hadi wanabeba sanduku. The Murima people are compliant in the church. So everything the father does, the reverend does, the father says, the reverend says, wanafuata bila kuuliza. Hai, father alisema hivi, father wangu alisema hivi, oh, reverend wangu alisema hivi. Na kuna kanisa nyingine even more terrible inaitwa AIPCA. Kwanza hiyo ndio ya wakora zaidi. AIPCA, I have no idea ilitokea wapi. Au mabishop na mareverend na wanapigananga physically because of money. But the people in the churches, the congregation, they are very compliant. The word is compliant. So to see how this church pulpit has been abused for the past few years by President Ruto and the political class. And in June 2024, how young Kenyans, went after the church and they demanded that President Ruto be kicked out of the pulpits of these churches. But now we are back to before June 2024 era, whereby our stolen taxes zinabebwa na magunia. Backpack, you know, they don't even respect 10 million Kenyan shillings in cash. Hata basi ibebwe in a golden suitcase. Inabebwa na backpack ya tech bro. Inaekanga laptop hapo. They have no respect for God. President Ruto has no respect for God. He has no respect for the church. He has no respect for the congregation. No respect for Kenyan taxpayer money. Munaeka milioni 10 kwa backpack. Munaenda hapo, munaingiza kwa basin ya kuoga. It is even, you know, how they treat this money that they steal from us. Because I have asked this time and again, huyo mtu mwenye anapeleka 10 million cash kwa bank, kwa kanisa, akuje na bank statement ya pahali withdraw hiyo pesa. President Ruto, I have challenged you this for years. You want to donate 10 million? Mimi sina shida. Come with a bank slip. William Ruto, KCB, Harambee Avenue branch. From your personal account. Show us where this money is coming from. Basi, mimi as a Kenyan, I'll say, hapana, this guy, he's rich. But musituibie sisi pesa yetu, our taxes, and you take it to church. Because what this has done, it has completely corrupted our church leaderships. Our bishops are salivating at the idea of getting a phone call from State House kuambia kwamba president anakuja, because anajua yani akishapata hiyo simu anaambia, for those who are married except the Catholic bishops, anaanza kuambia bibi yake na their side chicks, leo anzeni kufanya shopping ya makuku huko. Leo tunakula kuku. These reverends anaanza kupigia manyumba ndogo, nenda utafute nyama, because he knows that money is coming. Greed. 7 deadly sins. Greed. I'm not even very good with the Bible. I'm not a very good Christian. Let me tell you, my YouTube viewer, hapa kwa Mabili Magodi TV. Let me not pretend that mimi I am good. Sijui na mambo ya kanisa. I am not. Even though my family is very much involved with the church, I grew up in the church. I was involved with the church. In my adulthood, mimi kanisa kidogo nimeanza kuiogopa because of the things that go on in church. And one of them is the greed for money. Our bishops our reverends kwa makanisa yetu, haijalishi ni PCA, ni Anglican, ni Catholic, ni these people, shida imewamaliza ni tamaa ya pesa, and President Ruto knows this, and that is why every little opportunity he has gotten since 2013 he spends all his Sundays in church. Every Sunday atakuwa kwa kanisa fulani, ashikishe bishop na mareverend wake, kuleni hiyo sawa, alafu atoke nje. Hata there's a case whereby he had pledged 5 million or he had donated 5 million to a church back in the day wakiwa na uhuru. Alafu usiku bishop akaendewa, akaambia bwana, ile pesa ulipewa inafaa kurudi wapi? I'm telling you, my viewers, there was a church that made a lot of noise. Walipatiwa mchango, wakaambia lakini hiyo ilikuwa tu ni ya picha. Pesa yenyewe itakuja ile siku itakuja, and that money was never taken to that church. I mean, yes, ni conmanship jamani. Outright conmanship, yani matapeli kwa kanisa wamepatana na the proper tapeli. And President Ruto has turned the Kenyan church, imefika ni ile place ambapo Yesu aliingia akapiga mateke hiyo wachuuzi na all those criminals wenye walikuwa wamepiga kambi kwa kanisa. I don't know, you can't ask me ati ni verse gani hiyo ilikuwa hapo. So as wherever it is you're watching from, I need you to start fighting for your church. Because like I started to tell you in the beginning of this video, the church is a very important institution in our lives as a people. Spiritual nourishment, community, making us compliant, preparing us for the life of an adult whereby you have to follow the laws of the land. So if you have grown up as a child following the Bible rules like the 10 Commandments, so by the time umefika umekuwa adult and you are on sound mind, kabisa kushika kisu na kudunga mtu. So even the 10 Commandments do not allow. So you need to go out there and fight for the church. Not for the sake of the church, but for the sake of your own self and for the sake of your children and your children's children. Otherwise, there is a lot of resistance to the church by young people. Na kanisa soon itakosa watu. I am telling you. People are questioning churches now. Ukiingia kwa service hivi, kuanzia mwanzo mpaka mwisho ni toa. Mjengo, sijui choo nini. Tuite mbunge fulani, mwanasiasa akuja atusaidie mchango. Yule mwanasiasa anafanya nini? Anaiba taxes zetu, anabeba gunia ya pesa, anapeleka pale, mabishop wanaeka yao, mareverend wanaeka yao. But slowly the people are running away from the church. This is your Jomba Mobili Mogodi. Thank you very much for your support as usual. Please continue the conversation in the comments hapo. Like the videos, share with your friends and families. Na usisahau tarehe 16 July Olkalau by-election. I'm going to be there in advance, at least a few days earlier. Please help me by funding this trip, 0799 428 109. Asanteni.